If I
Good
can
morning.
start the, oh, there we go. Hey, welcome to our Monday Mastermind on this beautiful March weather here. Although they're threatening another cold front for Georgia for next week.
Man,
I guess spring can't make up his mind, huh?
no.
Well, we're excited to be here. We have an awesome couple here today to talk about how to grow your real estate business and how they're doing it in a unique way. But we're Why Grow Global, for those of you who don't know who we are, and we love to help real estate agents and any real estate company to help grow their business, learn new ideas, and to be better agents. So if you want to learn more about what we're doing, go to whygrowglobal.com and you can see our upcoming events, lots of resources there. You can even see recorded Grow Global events. You can see them there. Well, let me make sure we can get these muted here. Let's see here, mute. Okay, hold on. Let me mute everybody upon entry. There we go. All right, good deal. All right, so yeah, you can go to whygrowglobal.com and you can see recordings of our past events. And there we have lots of resources available for you. As a matter of fact, many agents will go and watch our recordings because, 12 o'clock on Monday sometimes doesn't fit. So they'll go and watch our recordings. So we love helping agents grow their business. And today is a very unique pleasure because we have Justin and Brooke Morgan on here, and they're with our company with EXP. I know we have other agents here that are not EXP. We love everybody. Justin and Brooke are top leaders in EXP. They're a married domestic team, so husband and wife team. They've been with EXP for 8 years, and they've iconed in EXP 8 times, which means they've done it 8 years. And if you don't know what icon means, icon in EXP is a top level rank in the company. That means you're doing a lot of volume if you're iconing every year. You also get stock and all this kind of bonuses. But they are top level agents, and they're doing it really well. They've been in business over 12 years, I believe. Is that correct, guys?
Yep, that's correct.
So,
I'm a third generation realtor. My grandfather and my dad, and then Justin's got real estate in his roots as well. So long time for both of us.
long time. Well, we want to hear your stories. We want to see how you got started in real estate, both of you guys, and what has helped your business grow. But let's go back to how you got started in real estate.
So when we got married, we were pretty young. I was 23, Brooke was 25, and we were just trying to figure out life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Brooke started getting a lot of phone calls from people she grew up with because they knew her family was in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So I turned to Brooke. I was like, I think you got to go get your license because she was. I mean, it got to the point where she was like, there was like 8 people a year that wanted to call her.
Yeah.
So
Right?
that was the beautiful thing was, there was so much groundwork coming from a real estate family. But, you've also got to deliver on that too. And Brooke's always been very good
Mm-hmm.
about knowing ins and outs of deals and knowing contracts and everything. So she's a
I will say I wasn't a quick test passer. I failed the test about 7 times.
Yeah.
Justin passed on his first time, which was
Yeah.
a shock. But
Yeah.
I started first. I was in it for about 3 years by myself, and then got pregnant with our first daughter. And it was like, okay, Justin, I can't handle all this by myself. It's time for you to come over with me. And then that's how we started doing it full time, all day, every day since about 2014.
Yeah, I've been full time since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So since the beginning of 2016, I went full time.
Yeah.
It's scary because it's all on you. It's all on your shoulders.
Right?
Yeah.
But
what industries were you guys in before real estate?
Brooke worked.
I worked at little boutique shops,
Uh-huh.
a couple, secretary jobs. Nothing consistent. I was still trying to find my way. Justin worked in banking and
out of high school, I worked in banking a little bit, but nothing like on the financial level. It was more essentially a teller for a retail bank.
Yeah.
And then I ended up working in event marketing towards the end of before I went full time into real estate. So a lot of it was just we would the marketing company I worked for, we would activate trade shows and stuff. So that was good. That kind of forced me to just talk to people as they walked by, and just it was real good to just have a natural approach with people instead of just trying to have some sort of canned material, because people can pick up on that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was there an aha moment when you decided to really make real estate your full-time career?
I think it was always just kind of ingrained in me. It was just trying to find the right place of my life to get in. But I would definitely say when Justin was like clocking in and out at work, having to be out of town for long periods of time, where I was like, this isn't how I want my life. I want to work with him together all day, every day, doing what we both know really well.
And also, it's like, we never went to college, so we didn't really have any kind of, we essentially had to burn the boats, if you will. Like, when we were like, hey, we've got this trade, because realtors, we are a trade. So I was like, we have this skill set, we know what we're doing, and we were forced to go all in, because there was really no backup plan.
Yeah.
There was no like, oh, well, I can always, go work as a nurse or go do something else. It was like, this was the only thing we were really set up to do. So we had to go all in.
Yeah, from the beginning.
It is so hard to find a job or an industry that makes as much money as real estate can make if you're working it hard. It's crazy. I see that over and over and over again with successful agents, because they just see if they put hard work in, they get great pay coming out, and they're going, I can't find anything to replace it.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely. Yeah, it's a very lucky career that we get to be and do,
and full transparency. Sometimes it's stressful, it's hard, and we've referred to it as golden handcuffs.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like you've got to figure it out.
Yeah,
because there's really nothing to replace it.
There isn't. It's a beautiful thing.
So when you got started in real estate and you started building your business, tell me what it looked like in the beginning. What did you do to get clients? How did it develop and grow?
I remember just always keeping in like first touch with all my past clients. I remember the very first year in real estate, I hand wrote 8 letters because I closed 8 homes my first year of real estate. And then the next year, those people called me back again, because our kind of niche, we call them the first-time home sellers. So a lot of my friends, we were having babies, buying our first home. So I started to create this little atmosphere that people knew to call us within these collective friend groups. So, and then we just really fed off of that. We were always, nurturing our communication and our community with friends. And that's something that we still do very much. A lot of, pop-bys, a lot of phone calls, just being there for people. I think people really can tell when you're genuine and when you really want to keep, good conversations and good community going. And that's a really important aspect to our business.
Well, and also too, we always would take time for people. For instance, the first closing we had this year, I didn't realize this until I was at the closing table with the guy, but I've been talking to him for almost 3 years. And it's just, whenever people came to us with questions, we would give them genuine answers or the information they need, or we'd help. And sometimes we would give people the roadmap to go sell their house, and they'd use someone else. And then we would say, you know what? It is what it is. And we can't let that bitterness of not closing that deal get to us, because there's probably a reason that we didn't work with that person, and we were clearly protected from something. So we've always just kind of been like water almost. We've let good stuff roll off of us. You can't really just dwell on things, because there's some shady people out there who you'll help them, you'll do things, or it really comes down to just communicating well with people. We know what we're doing, and we just treat others with respect, even if it doesn't come out in our favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice,
So you mean to
nice.
tell us that after you handwritten, doing notes and good communication, and they still using somebody else, and then you have like a whole like
That
playbook for how to combat, like
yeah,
what
Yeah.
else, like
that
this is
has
it's
happened
so
right
funny.
now. I've had a house that I've been in communication for 4 years. We ended up listing it last fall, and then we had a shady co-op agent, and she would, she kind of
Yeah.
drug us along. Well, then we decided to take the house off the market. We were going to relist this spring, but then we just looked on FMLS and it's listed with somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's 4 years of communication. So we just said, hey, you guys, we're so excited. We wish you the best. The spring market is looking great.
Yeah.
We need to come get our sign and lockbox, but
But it was there was a lot of drama with that co-op agent. It was a contingent deal, and there was just a lot of layers to that deal. But there was frustration from the seller point, and there was really no one to blame but us. So we took that full blame on, even though we know at the end of the day it wasn't our fault. We were dealing with a part-time agent who just really strung us along for about 3 months. So, but it is what it is, and sometimes some deals don't make it to the table. And honestly, we just have that. We didn't close that one for a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe something involved in that transaction, stress-wise, or something that we don't know about. That it's just, you know what, we gave it a shot and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So
the attitude you guys have is amazing. That's great because
you can't let those tools
Yeah.
get to you.
Cannot let. And you also mentioned something very key, Justin, that there's a reason. And sometimes you don't know, I call Yah or God, really protecting us from that very thing. You don't know what all there is to it at the time, right?
Yeah.
It's painful at the time. You calculate a commission, you work for 4 years, you like, I'm gonna pull my hair out, and yet you realize that God is protecting you for some very reason. And you good. That's amazing.
Yeah, there was a reason that you needed to move on from that.
Yes, completely.
Well, and we've been doing some stuff recently. We've been doing a lot more legwork on the front end with our listings, just to make sure that when we bring it to market, there's zero objections. We're solid on the price, and we know that we're not going to be 10 days into a contract and find out that there's raccoons in the attic. Like we're gonna
try to find those things up front.
We're gonna try to find that stuff up front.
At least the homes that we are representing.
The ones that we're representing on the listing side, we are trying to really make sure everything's buttoned up. So I'll give you an example. June last year, I got a phone call from a gentleman who wanted us to sell his house. He thought his house was worth about $725, low sevens. I said we really need to get an appraisal done because I'm not seeing comps in the neighborhood justifying it. Mm-hmm. So we actually got a pre-listing appraisal done.
That we cover.
Yeah. We found a local appraiser, got it done, and they came back to us at a value that was more in the high sixes. But also we brought to the seller's attention that, hey, if we're going to shoot for high sixes, we're going to need X, Y, and Z fixed. And he wasn't willing to fix those. He also wasn't willing to budge on the price. And we just simply sat down with him and said, you have not been part of a real estate transaction in 35 years. We sell an average 35 homes a year. Our appraiser has been in the business for 25 years. I know what it's going to take to sell your house, and I'm afraid overlisting it by this much and not fixing these crucial items is going to end up costing you in the long run. And I said, I don't think we're the right listing agents for you. And we shook his hand, said, we're done. We will not go down the avenue with someone because we are the experts. That person has not sold a house in 35 years, and he's trying to say that he's the expert. So we said, thank you for your time, and respectfully walked away. That house we checked in on, it took him 10 months to sell, and he ended up selling for $75,000 less than what he wanted. Because and he went through 2 more agents.
Yeah.
So that would have been 10 months of stress on us. Mm-hmm. And it would have, we all know that whenever you pull up a house and you see it's been on the market for 200 days, you're like, what's wrong with it?
Yeah.
So it comes down to, we have an avenue. We know what works for us to sell houses. Let's all go down that avenue together And if it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't, hey, we tried what we know is best.
And that is great for teaching lesson for your psyche. And, you know, like, because last week I had to walk literally away, and the guy's kind of texting me back, the seller have this duplex. I want me to take a look, and I want $500,000. I'm like, no big deal. Let me go and take a look. Can look preliminary. It looks great. When you went there, the roof is falling, the ceiling. I mean, you're gonna need like 100,000, and then the rental is like way below. And he was like, I give it a look, it's my friend. I'm like, no, sir, the condition is illegal to use people in there. I mean, literally. And I'm like, you get lucky if you get like 300,000 out of it. He's like, you out of your mind. I'm like, no, sir, I'm in real estate 29 years. I've seen this all the time. I'm not the woman for you, you know. Literally, I'm like, I'll call Dan, you know. Dan will tell you the truth.
And that's something you've got to sometimes put the cards on the table, is because somebody may think they know a lot because maybe they bought and sold 6-7 homes over their lifetime, or and also we run into stuff all the time where somebody's like, oh, well, my girlfriend's aunt's a realtor. And I'm like, well, are they selling $18-19 million a year like we are? Are they selling in the area of town? Now, if someone calls me and they're like, hey, I want you to sell my house in Gainesville, Georgia. I don't know anything about Gainesville. I'm going to go into Grow Global and find an agent who's an expert over there. But when I'm in my area of town that I'm an expert in, that I'm selling a lot of inventory every year, I'm going to put my foot down and tell people that, hey, if we're going to do this, then this is what we need to do. And we just had a closing a week ago. This gentleman called us. The house is probably 10 minutes from where we live. We actually sold something in the neighborhood back in last summer. And he got one of our mailers. We'll send mailers out, like just sold. That's something we've been trying to be consistent about here recently, is really get out and sell. Like, hey, we just closed this. So he called us. He let us know that this house, he got a divorce. He hadn't been there in 4 years. I said, well, buddy, the first thing we got to do is get a home inspection. So we got a home inspection. We got an appraisal. So that way, now we have the fair market value, and we have a 25-page report proving our fair value. The inspection came back super clean. So what we ended up doing was servicing the HVAC system and had the landscaping spruced up because, no one had been there for a little while. So we had a local landscaper that we partnered with. And so our client probably spent about $3,500 really getting the house ready. We put the house listed below, about $7,000 below appraisal, because the appraisal was $557, but $550 sounds better advertising.
Right.
We had great photos, and we ended up getting 3 offers in 4 days. Because when somebody came to schedule a showing, I was like, we have a seller's property disclosure, we have a community association, we have a copy of the pre-listing appraisal, and we know nothing's going to pop up on the inspection because he went ahead and took care of all that stuff.
Yeah, we've been sharing the pre-listing appraisals with all showings, all buyers agents. Like, here it is, if you have any questions, and that just takes the stress kind of off of everybody, and it really helps with that conversation.
Yeah. So that way they're not like, I mean, how many times are you looking at a house and then your client turns to you and they're like, hey, what are the comps in the neighborhood?
Yeah, like, where'd they get that number?
I'm like, we're seeing 8 houses today. I haven't done a deep dive on comps.
Right.
So it's good as an agent because when they schedule through showing time, I email them all the documents. And I let them know, if you got any questions while you're there, call me. And so when they're there, in their email, they have the seller's property, community association, and a copy of the appraisal. So they can just squash everything.
Yeah.
I love it. That sounds like I was talking to some agents about doing certified pre-owned homes, where you're doing all the legwork up front, you're getting everything checked out. So you submit them a packet of, hey, this home's been checked out top to bottom, it's ready to go.
Yes, absolutely.
Because people like to assume stuff about the market. Like, 5 years ago, it was awesome if you were a seller and someone threw a sign in the yard and took a few cell phone pictures and you had 15 people waiting on Saturday to get inside to come look at it. But those aren't the times we're in anymore. But there are still motivated buyers out there. So we need to make sure it's in good condition and it's priced right.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing that I run into is, and this is probably bad to say, is there are a lot of lazy agents out there in the industry.
Yes, there are.
And so if you can do the work for them ahead of time, it's benefiting your client, right? Are you supposed to do that? Probably not. But it benefits your client to do that work ahead of time, and the agent's probably going, "Wow, I don't have to spend my time looking it up. There it is, you know."
Exactly.
And the biggest thing, I've actually, we've got a new agent in our network, Mitchell Charvin. He's actually in on the Zoom call. Mitchell came and sat in at that closing with me, and he was able to meet the buyer's agent, and closing took 30 minutes because my client was out of state, signed everything. We sat there for an hour just talking to Mitchell and saying that, hey, this co-op agent, we're a community. We're not a competition. We are a community of realtors, regardless of what brokerage we're at. And from the moment he called me to schedule and the moment I picked up the phone, there was a mutual respect there. So when we had the 3 offers, I was like, okay, who was awesome? This guy was awesome. And his offer's clean. He knows what he's doing. And we had 0 hiccups in the transaction.
Yes.
So you get.
I wish they were all that way.
But it's
right.
This is that we're able
Go,
to,
Mitch!
Yes.
Yeah, we're able to pre-screen our clients. So if we sit down with somebody and they don't agree with our appraisal or they don't want to fix anything, we start looking at each other. Do we really want to deal with this? Because we're taking care of, we've got a 6-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old daughter, and we're working like 55 hours a week. And then when we're not working, we're with the kids.
Yeah.
So do we want to take on this stress from somebody who's not going to travel down this avenue with us?
Yeah.
Well, and you said something that was very key is if you have a good relationship with an agent that you know is credible, ethical, they do things right, they're on top of their game, and you have an offer from them and an offer from somebody else that you don't know or that you know is not on top of their game, you have a tendency to want to work with a person you know that's going to get the deal done, and it's the best interest of your client.
Exactly. Yep.
Because we all have the same goal. It's to get the house.
Exactly.
Whether I'm representing the buyer or I'm representing the seller, it's the same goal. And these agents that try to call you and big time you and try to be tough and be just
kind of aggressive off the front end,
there's no benefit in that.
No.
Just know your stuff, know your paperwork, be polite and respectful, and navigate through the process. And also have a good network of people. So if you do bring a buyer to a house and something pops up on the inspection, like the HVAC system, have a local guy that can probably drop everything and come out in a couple of days. Your relationships, the reason we've hit Icon for 8 times is not because we have some magical lead program or anything. It's because our relationships, whether you're the person at the grocery store checking us out or you're my neighbor, we treat you with respect and we're clear. I have people that reach out to me all the time. Hey, do you know a garage door guy? Yeah, let me send you his card. Boom.
Exactly.
It's just you want to become the unofficial mayor of your community. You want people to know, hey, this person knows what's going on. They're in the community. They're polite. They're nice. And if you're out in public buying coffee, be nice to people. Say hey to people.
Never treat people as a transaction. Treat them all as a true community.
Like prime example, we kind of took yesterday off. We took our kids. We live walking distance down to a little lake here by our house, and there's a beach. And we met some neighbors down there. Well, as I was parking our golf cart, I saw this guy that walks around all the time. And I know where he lives because I've seen him walking by his house. And I went, hey, you live on Park Street, right? And he was like, yeah. So we just started talking, and come to find out he's a builder.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, but it was just, but you look at him, he just looks like some dude that works on motorcycles, but he's building custom homes.
Yeah.
So we exchanged information, and we're going to try to get coffee in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So it's putting yourself out there in a positive, respectful manner.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to walk around town like you're big hot shot and all this stuff, you're going to get humbled real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I know Tony tried to say something a minute ago. Tony?
So, Tony.
Yeah. So Yeah, this is my daughter, by the way.
Hi,
Dad. Yeah.
She had a great teacher, it sounds like.
Yeah. So when they met, I tried to get Justin to button his shirt up, but he still won't do it,
Well,
I will show that hair. All right. At least I got the gold chain off of him, So
yeah,
that's right.
So, hey, listen, you guys, I'm so proud you're on here, by the way. I'm so proud of the way, you do. Talk to everybody about what you do for others, not really to get leads, but just so that you build community and what you do. Talk to us about what you do on their birthdays, what you do when you see them on Facebook, this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Justin's really better at this than me, but whenever he's on Facebook and he sees that it's someone's kid's birthday, he will go on Landglide, even if they're not our client. He'll go on Landglide, which is an app that you can find everybody's home address, find their address, send them a birthday cake right there. Yeah. It takes 5-10 minutes to get it done. But anything special like that always means the world to people. Yeah. If you go out of your way just a tiny bit, it may cost, $40 in 5 minutes. But it's things like that just to make people feel special. We don't have very many organized pop-bys. It's always just very random, sporadic things. And that's the kind of stuff that matters the most.
So like, for example, what she said, I don't do that birthday cake thing all the time, but several years ago, I had a friend of mine who they were going somewhere for his son's birthday. They had to cancel because his wife got the flu. And I just saw that they were doing something. So I DoorDashed them a cake and was just like, hey, sorry you didn't get to go on your vacation or something. And then I'll do that a lot for people that are maybe past clients or people that have referred me business over the years. I'm in a business networking group that I've started doing for the past 6 months just because it gets me out of the house once a week and gets me in an environment to talk with people. And I'm a referral heavy person. So being in a BNI group really helps me because I know I'm not necessarily there to get leads, but it's that giver's gain. I know I've got a room full of 20 people that if I say, hey, will you talk to this person because they need their roof looked at? I know that roofer's going to call them that day and get something on the books. So some stuff I've done, like we live in a downtown development. We live in a little downtown area where there's a lake. So I had these little keychains made, and they just say Ackworth, Georgia, the Lake City, established in 1850. And I would just put a few in my pocket, and if someone was driving by in their golf cart, I'd flag them down, and I'd be like, hey, what's up? I'm like, oh, hey, I'm Justin. I live on Dallas Street. I was like, hey, I had these keychains made for everyone's golf carts, and I would just hand it to them. Yeah. And I've probably given hundreds of these away. I don't know if I've seen a return on it, but I've got to put some positive vibes out there. I had a friend in my business networking group who just had knee surgery. So I sent a meal to their house. If you've got a friend where maybe their kid's sick or something, text them and go, hey, what do you got going? I was like, you need some soup sent to your house? Or we'll do that all the time. We'll have a friend that's just not feeling good or a past client or something, and we'll DoorDash them some chicken soup from somewhere. So that's a lot of what we do. Now, we do some structured yearly pop buys. Okay. Just little, like this one said,
kind of seasonal things.
We've got the insider information, and it's just a little card, and there's some apple cider. Yep. We're starting to do these direct mailers now. This one we partnered with a cash buyer on houses. So we just, I don't know, we try to get out and get in front of people. But if you're just sitting behind your computer cooped up in your house all day, who's going to know you sell real estate? Or if you're putting a post on, please, agents, look at me. Please don't put a post on Facebook that says which bathroom is best and show some bathroom from a $4 million house in Santa Barbara, California. I'm selling in Cobb County, Georgia. My average home value is probably $500,000. So we try to put content out there that is
very personal kind of stuff. Yeah.
Like on our website, when we got our website made, I told our website lady, I said, I have photos galore. I don't want any stock photos. I don't need some stock photo of, it looks like Captain Planet and their crew shaking hands in a skyscraper. I've got pictures of us in our house, in our community, doing things. We just try to be really personal and try to just be transparent with people.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's
I think we've really found our niche in our neighborhood, and that's kind of what we've really been soaring off of. Is knowing exactly where we want to be, and then anything that is, like you've mentioned before, anything that is outside of what we know best, we refer it out. We don't want to pretend like we know all areas everywhere, because we don't. We know this pocket of Cobb County and Cherokee County, and that's where we thrive, and that's what we spend all of our focus on.
Yeah, and we're not trying to do anybody a disservice, because if this industry is hard enough, y'all know how it is. It's almost like every month you're like starting from zero.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you could have a great month, but then you're like, oh, I don't have anything set up, so now I got to make that great month stretch for several months.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy limbo. But if you handle your business properly, you treat others with respect, and you don't get into a situation where you don't know something, like, we've got 2 little girls. I don't need to be driving an hour away to go show somebody houses at 8 o'clock at night. Like, I can team up with somebody else in my community to really save my headspace, because that's something that we focused on. Because you get to the point where you're like, I got to take everything that comes in. I got to take everything that comes in, but you don't want to end up in a position where you're burning yourself out.
Yeah. So the burnout is very easy in this industry.
So it sounds like y'all focus on a really deeply on your local community. Am I getting that correctly?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But like, for instance, like looking at like 2024's numbers and 2025's numbers, like 2024, looking at those numbers, like we sold 38 homes, and 2 of those were relocation leads from EXP. Mm-hmm. And I like running those. I know with relocation leads, the splits are pretty tough, but if it's an area, I like it because you get to meet somebody new.
Exactly.
The rest are all self-generated referrals from our sphere. And I would say majority of them were in Cobb and Cherokee County. And then the rest were kind of like from Adairsville down to the airport. And the reason we went outside our normal area is because it was necessary for that contract. Like the person selling by the airport was moving up here to Ackworth. And so we were able to really educate ourselves on the area and get that house listed and sold for them to make sure everything transitioned perfectly.
Yeah.
So there is exceptions to everything. But if someone calls me and they're like, hey, my brother wants to buy a house and he's looking in, Athens, Georgia, I'm going to be like, let me contact Grow Global and see who they got out there. Because I couldn't even put out Athens on a map, to be honest.
So Justin and Brooke, so you get great system going on. So can you, like Tony said, can you take us through step by step how you get all your listings, or appraisal? I mean, like give like a brand new person sitting up here and listening to you. What does your system look like?
Sure.
So all right. For example, right now, I'll walk through a couple of the listings that we've got coming up. So I'll go through 2 that we have active.
Like how you get listing.
Yes.
You go like step by step.
Yeah. Sure.
So we've got a townhouse for sale that's in Ackworth, but it's an Ackworth address, but it's more Kennesaw. We sold the unit next door, and that was my buddy's fiance, and now it's his wife. We sold that. When I was there, putting the sign in the yard and checking on because I'll go by my listings and I'll check on them once a week or something. That's so important to do, because the last thing you want to do is a cockroach died in the middle of the floor. It's like, if your listings are empty, get in there, check them out, go in there, flush some toilets, do some things. I was over there checking on the house, and there was a guy next door, and I was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh, hey. He's like, over here fixing a few things. I was like, oh, you live next door? He's like, no. He goes, I own the house, but my son has been living here while he goes to school. I bought it so I wouldn't be paying rent for 4.5 years. I was like, oh, that's smart. So we just talked for a little bit and gave him my card and was like, well, hey, if you ever got any questions or anything, just hit me up. I said, I live 15 minutes down the road. Well, a year later, he calls me and wants to sell it. So that's how we got that one. Is just I was checking on one of my listings, and I just spoke up. The guy was outside and started a conversation with him, talked to him. It was a real good connection. I keep cards on me. I keep them in my car. I've also got
another one that we have right here. It's kind of changed. It's not working out as we thought, but you would always take this elderly lady's trash can up.
So I've also got Blink on my phone. So if I don't have any cards on me, I can say, hey, scan this and it will text you my business card.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, we've got one listing that we're working on right now. It's one of our neighbors. She would walk by with her dog, and I'd always be outside with the kids playing, and we would just talk. And there's a couple of times it was raining. I'd take her trash cans up to her house just because, she was like early 70s. No, I was not like, oh, I'm going to take her trash cans up because one day they're going to need to sell the house. Like, it's just, I'm just
right.
Like, I was just trying to be neighborly. And then.
So Rob, one of the things that you'll notice, if you go to especially Brooke's Instagram account, you're going to see things on there a little differently. Most agents, what they do is they stand in a closing with their seller and they get a picture taken in front of the attorney's sign. If you go to Brooke's Instagram account, you're going to see things like Justin, when he goes to put an arrow sign out on a property, he's skipping in his shorts with an arrow sign. They're playing the game with it, and the kids and the dogs are running with them, and they got an arrow sign. That's how they're doing it. So they're not doing these formal little pictures like everybody else is doing. Yeah. They're doing things that are fun, and people know what they do. I mean, I had people walk up to me. We live in the same little town. We moved over to be near the grandchildren. I have people come up to me and they'll go, man, Justin Brooke, they're knocking a home run, aren't they? They're doing it up. And I'm like, they're my competition is what they are. We're all in the same EXP organization. We help each other out. But look at their Instagram accounts and see how they treat real estate differently than other agents. It's not a formal thing. Now they have a few pictures in there where they're standing with a lender or with their buyer or with their seller, but there's a lot of stuff in there.
I just did my Instagram.
Putting signs up. Yeah, they're having fun putting signs up, that kind of stuff. I mean, like Brooke would probably share her screen and show you some stuff. It's crazy.
We're also not very.
We're very bad at technical.
We're very bad at technical.
I don't know how to even log in.
I was trying to do something with the storage on my iPhone the other day, and they were like, "What's your Apple ID and password?" And I was like, "Brother, I could."
Yeah.
Right.
Like 10 strangers before I could figure that out. So.
Well, that brings up a good point. What do y'all do for communications and touching and keeping connected with people with technology? What are y'all using?
So we have a business Instagram account that I kind of stopped doing, but now we're getting it ramped up again. A lot of the stuff that we share is just like our real life things. Yeah. I'm like, sitting on the front porch. Oh my gosh, I'm riding an offer. How cool. Here's Justin, riding his bike in our golf cart and we're going to look at a house. Here's my kids. Here's our dog. We're very, very personable, and all of our life is pretty much on our social media, which people see. And then they also see our successes, even though we're not blasting our successes. We're just very open of like, hey, we're working all the time and we're also here if anybody needs us.
We don't take hard stances on stuff either. We're not very political people. So we're not putting out rage or hate or anything. We just try to put out what's going on in our life. We try to be positive. Yeah. And we honestly, we try to share activity and successes. We don't try to be like, oh, had a bad day today. No one wants to see that. Just like we had a house where, like, we'll try to take something horrible and make it fun. We had a house where the water was turned off because it got cold here in Georgia. Yeah. Well, when the water got turned off, the ball valve went, so the ball valve broke, so the water was shut off. Uh-huh. So before we could get a plumber there to fix the ball valve, I told the agent,
we got a showing request.
I said, do not use the bathroom.
Oh.
Plumber shut off, and we can't turn it on until the
Guess
plumber.
where this goes?
Yeah, I've been there before.
I get a phone call 2 hours later saying, "Hey, so sorry. My buyer brought her grandmother, and she had to use the bathroom. Well, now I got to go clean it up.
Right.
This lady committed a hate crime in that bathroom.
Yeah.
But I just
took a picture with a bleach bottle and a scrub.
I had gloves on and a bleach bottle and made a picture on social media and was like, hey, sometimes you're selling houses and sometimes you're cleaning toilets.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do, right?
Well, and that's the thing. There's no task that's below us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times we'll get to a house and I'm like, oh, like there was one listing. I remember we get there for the photos and Brooke was like dusting the guy's office, pulling stuff out. Mm-hmm. Like we just rolled up our sleeves and went to town and got to work. Yeah. And so that's part of the reason why we also line our showings. We do our listings the way we do them now. So we don't get to a situation where it's time for pictures and they haven't done the stuff we told them to do.
Right.
So, yeah. But we're very actively out in our community with our friends groups. We're out there on our social media and a lot of people just call us.
Yeah.
But we still do the stuff. We still do the mailers. Mm-hmm. We still do pop buys. We try to touch base with our sphere of influence about, I would say, ideally 4 times a year. And one of the big things that we do around Christmas time is we have a local baker make us Christmas making kits.
It's cookie decorating.
Yeah,
kits.
The boxes are about this big, and there's a set number of pre-made cookies in there with icing. And then we take our family Christmas card and we attach it to the Christmas cookie kit, and then we go drop them off at everyone's houses.
Yeah, last year we did about 150. But the funny thing is that friend, she's a baker, but she also has her house listed, and she's been trying to sell it for like 9 months now. And she's not my client, but I'm still there using her for her business. But anyways, it's just have true, genuine relationships and community is what it is truly what it's all about.
And also, like, know where to draw the line. Protect yourself, protect your mind, protect your happiness and your stress levels. Because if you're sitting down at a kitchen table with a seller and they won't listen to you on price or condition, how are they going to be during a home inspection when they find something nobody knew about?
It's going to be a fight the whole time.
Yeah. It's going to be a fight. And then you'll be at closing and you'll be so discouraged. You're like, man, this is so difficult. It's like, don't take the listing. Yeah. Spend that time and energy going after the people that will listen to you.
Yeah.
So what percentage of your business is listings and what percentage is buyers?
About 60-40?
About 60-40. So
60 listings.
To date for this year, we've closed 12 houses. And I want to say 8 of them have been listings, and we've only had about 4 buyers. So we're a lot heavier on listings just the start of this year. But, buyers are starting to get really excited with the spring market, even though the rates are kind of up and down and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But we've been more heavy on listings.
Well, and people get so caught up on the news when they watch the news, and I'll be talking to someone, they're like, well, what if someone drops a nuclear bomb? I was like, well, I think we have a lot bigger problems at that point than your interest rate. Yeah. So we keep waking up every day. We keep working hard and trying to sell. That's all we can do, because I can only focus on what I can control, and that's our output. Mm-hmm. But I would say about just when we're like listing heavy, and I'm like, man, we should only focus on listings and just bring on a full-time buyer's agent. Then all of a sudden our next 6 deals will be buyers.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so hard to tell, but we just really try to, is this somebody we want to work with?
Yeah. Balance. Yeah.
And like, for example, that new agent, Mitchell, that we have in our network that we're training, we have a buyer looking in Smyrna. Mitchell lives in a prime spot in Smyrna. He knows the whole area. He's been down there a decade. So we got Mitchell running that appointment, and we'll just work out a referral fee with him.
Right, exactly.
Even though he's a newer agent, he is an expert in that area. And with him living down there, if they want to see something at 7:30 at night, he can be there in 5 minutes.
Nice.
Well, and that brings up another point. What type of, do y'all use any contract to close? Do you have any buyers agents? Do y'all have any people that are working with you?
Is Mr. Buckridge with our teacher.
Alicia.
I got her.
All right. We have a transaction coordinator that that we don't use a company. This is an old neighbor of ours who runs the back end. She runs the back end office system for a ministry, and she also runs the back end paperwork for our business
for SkySlope
and emails, because there's so many times she'll be like, "Hey, how's it going with this person?" I'm like, "Oh, thanks for reminding me. I got to send an email about this and the closing date." Or, "Hey, how's the probate working out on this deal?" So we have a transaction coordinator that we pay per transaction, and we probably pay her more than what the normal going rate is, but we get more. She talks to us. She's able to figure things out. And sometimes I'll just call her and be like, "Hey, it's just good to bounce stuff off of her." And she just has a different perspective. As far as buyer's agents go, we have agents in our network that have come over to EXP. So we're number one domestic partnership in the state of Georgia for EXP. The number two domestic partnership is Susanna and JP Erickson. They came over from Keller Williams and joined our network because we were doing a transaction together.
But they live more north of us, so they do all their own things. As far as a buyer's agent, we do have two that we call on if we need. We don't. We really try to tackle things.
Yeah, we tackle things ourselves,
unless we just can't, and then and then we'll call on.
Prime example: I did a deal earlier this year. Closed a house over by Sprayberry High School. Great first-time home buyer, fantastic couple. Come to find out, his father-in-law is a licensed realtor. They didn't use him because his father-in-law maybe sells one deal a year, and he doesn't know how to interact with agents well. So that's why he called us. It was a referral through a past client. So we closed this deal. He was getting a loan through Rocket. And, I typically don't just come out and go, "Oh, no, you don't want to use them." I was like, "Hey, let me talk to your guy." Well, I talked to the guy. This dude is a genius.
Yeah, he was on it.
He was an actual broker hired by Rocket.
Nice.
I could get a hold of him at 8 o'clock at night. He was fantastic. Well, we get done with the deal. He calls me. And so I'm talking to him. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He goes, "Hey, I've got somebody who's qualified that's looking for a house in Atlanta. This is the price point. This is the area. They don't have an agent." I said, "Awesome." I said, "Hey, I got to be honest with you. That price point, that part of Atlanta, I can't go down there and show her homes, but I've got an agent in our network, in our Grow Global community, that can go down there and do that." So I just handed it off to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we'll work out a referral fee if needed.
So one thing, Rob and Justin and Brooke do this as well. They mentor people who had less than 3 transactions last year. So when someone comes into the organization, we do that, they do that. We keep, stay qualified as certified mentors. So Justin and Brooke offer that service as well.
We also, this year we started filming with American Dream TV, and that was more so. We started doing that because that's making us create content. And we've done stuff with house hunters before. Brooke filmed an episode with a cabin that we sold up in LJ with house hunters. And then we actually did one for a house that we used to own actually across the street from us.
It was our personal home.
It was our personal home, but we sold that home in July and we moved 50 feet across the street. We love where we live, but we needed more room. So when you get an opportunity to move 50 feet across the street, you take it. Except for, little did we know, you have to hand walk everything over.
Yeah.
So
that was awesome.
July 7th, we walked 14 miles according to our step calculator.
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
but there's not like I can't sit here and be like, "Oh, this is what brings all of our leads in," or "These pop lines is what brings them in." I think it's the whole package. It's the, "Hey, you've got a friend that's sick or their dog died. Send them something."
Mm-hmm.
And you may spend $30 or $40 and never see a return on it. But you know what? You put some good energy out into the universe.
And they will remember that. They'll remember the extra step that you took to help them feel good about something.
Yeah, because like
I wanted to ask you about ADTV. Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
do you think that it brought you business, or that it was
Not
able to
Not
get you
yet.
out
Yeah.
more?
I don't think it has. We're about
Okay.
to film our third segment.
Yeah.
It's more brought us notoriety within our community of Ackworth,
Yes.
and it's helped us kind of be like, we're kind of showcasing Ackworth more. But as far as it bringing in real estate, it hasn't yet.
Yeah.
But it is something that I've enjoyed doing, and we're going to
Yes.
continue it for the rest of this year.
And it's pretty expensive, but I've got to say with the ADTV is a lot of agents are using it different than we are. They're just running around town trying to do a segment with a professional sports team and just be like, hey, we're doing this. We wanted to do this because it was going to force us to create content. And since we were able to control the content with ADTV, we wanted to focus on doing these 6 videos that we're contracted with, all in the city we live in.
So we're showcasing like small businesses. We did showcase one of a listing that we will be getting, which was fun. But as far as it bringing in people,
we're still in such.
We're still figuring it out.
Still figuring it out. But
so does it help in exposure and credibility and things like that?
Yes, it does
Very much.
So
yeah.
Also, we have a great friend on here, Sherry Gazaway. I don't know if she's still on the Zoom call. Sherry's also in Tony's network. Sherry's a fantastic realtor. She lives pretty close to us. She's also an editor for a magazine company, and they have several local magazines. Well, Sherry called us a month ago or so and said, hey, there's the magazine for Cobb Insight. Am I saying that right, Brooke?
Cobb and Focus.
Cobb and Focus,
No
that's
Atlanta.
it. So Cobb and Focus, she goes, the whole magazine has essentially been bought by the private school that our girls go to. But there was a section in that magazine that they still needed an article. So we went ahead and bought that article space because it was going to put us in front of the article from the private school that our kids go to.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So the second it went live, we get a text from the lady who's head of marketing for the school, and she goes, oh my goodness, I'm checking the magazine out, and there's an article with you and Justin, and there's a picture of you and your girls at the school. And we're like, yeah, isn't that crazy? What a coincidence. Well, the coincidence is here.
We put ourselves out there. Yeah.
Sherry was looking at it.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot on marketing, but we don't really, this is something I learned when I did the trade shows, the event marketing. It's hard to track impressions. And if you get bogged down by data and be like, okay, well, I spent $10,000 on this. What return did we see? Well, sometimes somebody will see something and you don't know that they saw that. And maybe that thing they saw, and then maybe they saw another Facebook post is what led them to call us. So we don't get bogged down on tracking impressions, but we always are in the mindset of giving and trying to put ourselves out there, whether it's through direct mailer, making keychains to hand out to neighbors,
right,
or even just having people over for dinner.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just inviting some neighbors over for dinner and seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
So on your listings and buyers, I'm curious that you've had so far this year.
Yeah.
Why are they selling and why are they buying? What's the catalyst that's making them pull the trigger?
All right. We had a great listing in Legacy Park in Kennesaw. That gentleman we've been talking on and off to for almost 3 years. Wonderful guy. He's a single guy, and his children are in their early 20s, and his daughter just got married. So he was downsizing. So
okay.
Yeah, we helped him find a house. So a part of it was we were trying to look and find something. We also looked at land, but after a lot of times with land, we'll roll with people on land, but anybody that does land and has anybody build on it, the limitations, the walls you run into. And after running into so many walls, he was like, you know what? I think we just need to buy something that's already established. And I said, yeah. So
I didn't know if y'all are seeing a trend of people listing their home for a certain reason or buying for a certain reason or anything like that. Or it's
kind of all over the place.
So guy was downsizing. Yeah. We had one couple that we sold them a house 2 years ago, and they were selling it to move into a rental. And the reason they were doing that was he got transferred here to Georgia for a job. And when he got here, that job was not at all what was supposed to be. So they moved here, bought a house, boom, did this thing. And then he calls me and goes, hey man, this job was not what it was supposed to be. So he started looking for other gigs and found this remote job. So after 2 years, he was like, hey, we want to sell our house because what we're paying every month for this house, we can move into something larger that's equal or lesser value every month. Because now he's working from home. Because when they bought the house, he wasn't working from home. And now he's like, I need a separate area. So that was one where we helped him out. We couldn't, he just bought the house, so we didn't charge him a full commission.
We do have a lot of, I call them first-time home sellers, where they're on their second or third baby. They need to go from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom. We have a lot of those.
We've
the move ups,
the move. So we had this one couple. One of our listings was they were married 20-something years. Decided that we had a good run. We're going to go separate ways. Super cooperative, wonderful people. It was almost why we were in the transaction. I was like, y'all sure you want to get a divorce? Y'all seem pretty. They were ready to go their own ways. So we sold her house. He moved into a rental. She ended up buying a little house that we helped her get. And then
I was talking. Go ahead. I was talking to a couple this morning. And they have a nice condo in Buckhead, right? Really nice condo. But they just bought a place down in St. Pete, and they're planning to move down there in 2 years, right? And they said, I want to sell my condo in Buckhead now, rent something for 2 years, and then move down there. I don't want to wait and try to sell it, and who knows what the market's going to be like. I know what it is right now. Let's sell it now, rent a place for 2 years, and then move down there.
Yeah. So that's a lot of we're seeing that kind of stuff too.
We've also been very transparent with our listings where if we do the numbers and we're like, hey, this doesn't make sense, you need to stay here. We'll tell them that too. Like your interest rate is at 2.5. You're not going to get what you want. So I mean, we'll be honest.
We walked out of the listing appointment. This sweet lady, she's like, hey, I want to move. She's in a townhome and she wanted to move to another townhome that was like 30 minutes closer to her grandkids.
Right.
It's not like she's taking care of her grandkids every day. She's seeing them like once a month.
Right.
Well, I go, your overhead on this townhome you're out the door at $800. We're talking about insurance, mortgage, everything. And I looked at her. I was like, I could sell your townhome tomorrow. But I said, what you're going to move into is going to cost you 2 to 3 times as much just to be 30 minutes closer for what? A couple days a month?
Yeah.
Right.
So just drive 30 minutes. We walked out. We said, hey, we won't sell your house because.
So every situation is different. It just depends.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and that's when you become an advisor. You're not just out there to sell and get a commission. You're advising them for the best interest of the client. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and thanks a lot, guys. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, and when you advise people and you take time and talk to them, I'll leave you with one story.
Okay.
Yes.
I got a phone call 2 years ago from a Mark Spain agent. He was 22 years old. He knew nothing about the area town we lived in.
He lived about 40 minutes away.
Yeah, call it an hour. He probably lived an hour away. But he started pulling comps because he had a listing appointment to go to. Well, he started seeing, Justin and Brooke sold this house. Oh, Justin Brooke sold this house. Oh, Justin Brooke. All the comps he was pulling, he kept seeing our name.
And this house was a pre-Civil War historic home.
And
very special.
We live in a house that was built 126 years ago. So he saw our name pop up on a lot of these older home listings. So he called me and said, hey, I don't really know this area. I don't know older homes. I spent 45 minutes on the phone with him, educating him on everything and just trying to be a nice We're not competition. Hand that olive branch to that other agent. He called me 2 weeks later and said, hey, I got the listing. The house is located on blank and blank street. And I went, I know where that house is. And he goes, since you were so helpful to me, do you know anybody that would want to buy it? And I said, well, hey, what's the price? And he's like, we're thinking like $460. I had somebody over there that night because that was the wrong price for that house. and those people went under contract 2 years ago today.
Nice. Very nice. I love it.
And since they needed a bigger home because they were having another baby, but since they moved into that larger home, they've had that other baby and they just adopted another baby. Yeah. If they never bought that house, they would have never had enough room to adopt that little baby.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, if someone calls you, give them a moment of your time. I didn't have 45 minutes to talk to some 22-year-old Mark Spain agent, but you know what? I did it to be respectful for another realtor in our community.
And it paid off. I love it.
Yeah. But
hey, thank you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are so awesome. I love hearing great stories about how people succeed, and I love the fact that you're building a community and you really pour into your area. I love that piece of it.
Thank you, Rob, so much. Thank you.
And congratulations for being like ranking number 6 for the team units and volume, guys.
Yeah, nationwide. So number 1 in Georgia, number 6 nationwide in EXP. That's awesome. Y'all are number 6 nationwide for domestic team.
Yes. Congratulations.
Didn't even know it.
Yes, I want to make a bang out of this.
We're going to get that out on our advertising stuff. But congratulations, guys. We're so proud of you.
Yeah, congratulations, guys. Great nuggets today. Amazing. Wow.
Thanks for coming on.
Hey, I need to figure out. Thank you.
We'll see you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week on Monday at noon. Bye, guys.
And guys, Monday at noon next week, that will be like mega team. You know, Alex Montagano and his team, he's building over like 100 mil. So he's going to be here next week. So yeah, awesome.
Bye, guys.